Welcome back to the SSL. We're tied up 1-1 between ByuN and Stats here. Just had another crazy PvT on that map called Dust Towers, where the Protoss makes 1 million air units and wins. Yeah. So far, no Terran has been able to win so far in live tournaments here in Korea.
It's been a really interesting series so far. I feel like, personally, ByuN did make a few mistakes in that second game, but the first game he looked really solid. I think this third game is going to give us an idea of ByuN's mindset after losing a game like that, where you're playing against a frustrating style that players like SOS have started to develop on this map. But it still could go either way. Now, this is a best of 5, guys, not a best of 3. So this next matchup will not be our last on Laralock Crest. Are you still feeling like you're in ByuN's favor? Yeah,
I feel like ByuN had trouble dealing with that kind of build, but it seems like also Stats hasn't been able to figure out ByuN's greedy builds, and we'll see if he'll have the answer here. Another very big map in Laralock Crest. Let's jump into that right now for game number 3. Here we are on Laralock Crest for game number 3 of this PvT. In the top left in the red, the Terran player from X Team, it is ByuN.
There he is.
Yep.
And his opponent in blue cross spawns them here on Laralock. It is Stats. Got a lot more fans here actually in the live audience than normal. Usually it's ByuN that everybody wants to win.
Go Stats.
It says win like
Alpha
win like
Go.
Alpha, the thing that won the Go today.
Apparently it's a best of 5. So he's up 2-0 now on the Korean player.
I find that, like, when I was looking at my Twitter feed today, I know I talked to you about this a little bit earlier, it's really interesting that, like, such a concept of, like, humanity versus a program can really get people stirred up and get people pretty passionate. It was a cool little idea. Just wish we had some sick, like, esports level commentary and production for it.
Could happen, man. You know what the next game they're going to focus on is, right? Starcraft.
Yeah,
that's what they said.
Yeah.
Google's going to start working on that for their project. See if an AI can figure out Starcraft.
So that's pretty exciting, right? And I know that there have been actually projects working on this since StarCraft 1, and I know this is, as far as I know, the StarCraft you're mentioning that they are going to be doing next, I think is actually going to be StarCraft 1, but really cool to see a project like this be developed. I know everyone's suddenly getting terrified, like, what if Google releases the project? What if it gets leaked? Then, like, the ladder bots, like, take over and humanity does lose. And then innovation, like, has to come and save the world. He's like, I'm more robotic than any of you could ever be with my playstyle.
I understand them. They are my family.
Well, in this game, everything's pretty normal so far. We do have a quick factory, though, for ByuN. He's not actually going for the super greedy third base this time.
Went for the Reaper as well, and the Stats is going to see a later reactor, so he will know that the Reaper is out on the map, potentially here. And also did scout the command center coming down here. Going to go for a Robo, which is kind of interesting, and also the Twilight Council, so maybe seeing some of that DT tech once again into drop. Could also be what you were thinking about the first time. Definitely another possibility. Maybe resonating glaives and just drop a bunch of adepts. Go for that kind of play.
Oh, Reaper got chased, but he's fine.
Korean commentators were going wild about that.
Yeah, it's like
whoa!
Every now and then I just want to commentate like the Korean commentators, who, by the way, as we saw in our commercial break, have in fact joined Team Salmon. All they had to do was wear the gear, and here we go.
They wore the gear. That was it. I mean, they figured it out. Finally, it's only taken, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
But they figured it out. It's good.
Oh! Sorry, I had to channel my inner Korean commentator there.
Is he going to overcharge here? We do see the Robo. Oh! sees the 2 extra gates.
That's actually pretty scary to see, to be honest. You didn't see the Robo, but rather didn't see the Twilight Council, but you see a Robo like that, and extra gates are like, could be an all-in of some type. I don't know. He's adding gateways. It's never a good thing. But I think he's going to feel a little bit safer against, say, DT Tech, for example.
And this is going to be Blink. So, oh man, I wonder what this is going to be. I mean, this map is pretty decent for Blink. You can blink up into the main pretty easily, but getting into the back door is hard because you have to break down the rocks unless you're going to go through the natural. So, I'm not quite sure where he's going with this Blink tech, but he's going to start off with that at least.
I swear this music comes on every time a drop starts coming across the map. It's like drops going this way, servers going that way. Music's getting all suspenseful.
He's gonna miss it. Da-da-na.
Oh, is he going to see the ops? No, he doesn't see that. Oh, I think he does actually.
Yeah, he's running back into the base trying to catch it here.
I mean,
Hobbs on the run.
This isn't like that indicative of what's happening, but let's see if he can. Oh, he knows. You see the factory like that, you're like, nah, I'm keeping this observer home.
Okay, so here comes the drop.
There's no units here. If he targets that observer down with a scan, that would be huge.
Oh, there's no move!
Oh my God! I can't believe that just happened. You and I are sitting there going, well, he sees it, he's got an observer there. That was not the reaction, or rather lack of reaction, that I expected.
Yeah, so that's 8 probes gone, and looking at stat space, he was going for an all-in. I mean, he had 6 gates with Blink on the way in a Warp Prism, so he wanted to put on the massive pressure, and he still can, but he's not going to have quite the economy that he had by losing 8 probes. That's a massive deficit here.
Oh, he's got another Widow Mine up here. I was about to say Widowmaker.
Another Widowmaker. He's going to snipe those probes.
1 shot, 1 kill. No, please, Blizzard, stop using that tagline in every single game. But he's got so many units here. Stim is going to be finished right before this attack hits. I mean, it's not going to be an easy hold, but Stats doesn't have as much economy to even continue to push with this. No bunkers here, though. He's just going to have to micro his Marines.
Oh, Stats isn't paying attention.
Oh, my God. Stats, man. He's messing this up. The Widow Mine isn't even in position. Not even in position. Okay, this drop gets pushed away. The Widow Mine does get dropped, it looks like, and he's not burrowing it. ByuN is also looking elsewhere.
Yeah, but even so, he's diverted Stats' attention so much that this all-in is really flimsy from here. He's sitting on 39 probes. He's like, I have no pressure. I've missed my timing. The Terran's starting to produce a lot of Marauders. He's got Stim. I mean, like, where exactly and how exactly is Stats going to attack this base? I mean, I guess he's going to do the I'll make 1,000,000 Stalkers and try to kill him anyway strat, which does work from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite powerful. It's not as good as the make 1,000,000 Adepts and try to kill him strat, but it's like, it's number 2 to that one right now.
This is a lot of Stalkers.
Yeah, he has Blink, of course, so he's just going to continue to blink back using solid micro here. Repairs coming down for those the units in the bunker.
Does break the bunker, and there's no more bunker here, and here is a bunch more Warpins. A lot of these Stalkers very, very low, but they've all lost their shields. Really nice micro by Stats.
Yeah, very, very well done. ByuN is just going to engage here using a few SCVs to tank. A Widow Mine coming all the way to the front. Does get taken out before it actually goes off. There's no extra Warpins yet. He just went back into phase mode on that Prism. So many of these Stalkers are actually down in the red. And it looks like ByuN is just barely going to hold here. Or is he?
Oh,
so close. Oh my God. Widowmakers are coming back, but he does not control the medevac. More Stalkers coming in here. ByuN needs money. He's dropping mules. Maybe he should have dropped him in the main, though, because there's Blink Stalkers here at the natural right now.
He's forced another Blink back, so this is fantastic. He's bought himself a lot of time. He still has mules. He's lost a lot of SCVs, but he's held on. That's the most important thing here. He's got decent economy back home. He can try to get this production up, try to get a bunch more Marauders out. But Stats is going to try again here. This is phase number 2 of the Blink. All in here.
He knows that this isn't, you know, I almost want to say he knows this is not going to necessarily end the game. He added a Forge at home. That's a big sign. All right, targeting down the Marauders. Good counter micro here by ByuN. All of these Stalkers are healthy, notice. But you know what? It doesn't matter. He has +1 with his Bioforce, and he has to run and blink away. He's going to have to blink again here.
Really nice job by ByuN. Fantastic micro, picking up into the medevac and out, and also into the Warp Prism out now by both players. Actually really on top of their game here.
Robotics support bay, we're going to start to see some disruptor action in this game. Oh, so close. He's just skirting the edge of it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing here, actually.
Would have got very low. ByuN now coming back. But this Warp Prism is going to go back. Really nice job avoiding the Widow Mine at the same time, but isn't quite able to attack from both fronts now. He's going for a third base. We already have a forwards on the way here for stats. He knows that the all-in is essentially over, but he has to find a way to do some damage because he knows ByuN has a fantastic army coming across the map right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to use these Stalkers to delay. So far, so good. And ByuN is overstimming here a little bit. But I have to say, this army, like you said, it's just too big for him to handle. He needs to buy more time somehow. He's getting a cannon right now. He hasn't started his first Disruptor either, as far as I can tell. So, I mean, he's just dealing with pure Blink Stalker. Yeah, no Disruptor, 4 Adepts.
There's the Disruptor on the way, but just now started. ByuN going to start his own third base, but you can see in the supplies, he's up 30-25 right now, and ByuN can easily trade against this Protoss army, especially with no +1 armor, but this is a nice drop. Going to force a lot of these units back home.
This is a game changer. This and the third Nexus that stats have are what's keeping him in this game. With those two things, he can mount a comeback. You know, his worker count is slightly ahead. He's got, of course, triple chrono now to keep that going. Besides that, of course, ByuN is starting to be a little bit passive here because of this drop. I think he needs to leave a few units at home.
He needs to burrow the Widow Mines a little bit late there. Actually going to pick up, and the one Widow Mine does survive, funnily enough. But he does thwart the drop eventually.
TIL, you can dodge Widow Mine shots with Warp Prism pickup. Oh man, this Disruptor too, he doesn't have vision of it, so he's going to try to be aggressive. This is pretty risky.
Oh, now he sees it. Ooh, really nice pickup there. Saving those Widow Mine
He's
slides.
like, oh, you only have 1 and it's on cooldown. I'm coming up right here, right now. Big stems on this bio. It's a lot of Protoss here though, plus the overcharges. I'm not sure if this is the right choice.
And a couple of really fantastic force fields to make ByuN only fight with about half of his army there. Stats is holding on, man, somehow, some way. Yeah. He does have that third base.
You know, boy. Sometimes I get the feeling, I've been watching a lot of Starcraft, of course, and catching up since I came back from Poland, but it feels like a lot of players almost forget about the fact that force fields still exist in this game. And
I certainly do.
When you see that engage there, he's like, okay, it's off cooldown, I'm jumping in, but there's not enough bio in that army because he's leaving a lot at home. And Stats is mounting a pretty big comeback here. He's got this base now fully mining, 16-16 saturation. He's got both gases up. He has Disruptor tech. ByuN is now switching to those Liberators. And he's poking up here at the front. This poking is going to be, oh, that was scary. This poking is going to be pretty effective versus pure Blink Stalker. But as he starts to transition into a more adept-heavy army, or perhaps,
Going to do a bunch of damage here, but does have to finish off that Warp Prism. 4 Adepts going to force another big pull.
Yep, he's actually just going to shade past most of this army. Could have actually used the Warp Prism there, perhaps, to help out a little bit. But these Adepts somehow just unnoticed over here. He's so focused on these that just got warped in. He's spread pretty thin here. It's like, ByuN, look at the minimap. He's got a huge blob of units doing nothing, and he's struggling to defend the drop. He needs to be multitasking a little bit better here. He needs to be hitting this third base, or excuse me, fourth base.
Yeah, being very careful to fight against these Disruptors. Ooh, just barely. One of those Marines does die.
Oh, man, that worries me. When you see Micro like that, that means he's not comfortable splitting. He's only comfortable running, and that's a big problem. If that's actually going to occur when we have 5-6 Disruptor shots flowing out of those Disruptors, I worry for him if he can't micro against that. That's the key here in this matchup when we go this way.
We have Thermal Lance on the way, so Colossi going to join the fight here. We saw that a lot in the foreign scene. We're going to begin seeing it some here in the Korean scene as well. But I don't know. These Liberators are an interesting choice too, because against this many Blink Stalkers, obviously if you can protect the Liberators with your bio, it can be nice. But so far I haven't been able to catch a Terran doing a nice job of that. So far the Protoss, I feel, has been getting the advantage in those situations because it's hard to micro all this stuff. Like, look at this. You snipe one, you back off. That's all you got to do. It takes so long to put those in Liberation mode.
Oh, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's no splitting here. Liberator's coming up way too slowly. He lost 2 of them earlier. He's going to lose another one now. And ByuN's micro here is not as good as it needs to be. Okay, here we go. There's the splits that we got to see. Now he's engaging away from his liberation zones. He needs to move back. Still getting a decent trade, however. This 2 Widowmine drop is just chilling. It's actually
just chilling.
Just chilling. It's like AAM like, what's up? NM,
What's up?
he
Just
was like,
chilling.
I'm an NMJC. Those old days.
No much, just chilling, yeah.
Like some of the new generations, like, what's
What
AIM?
are
I'm
you
like, wow, I'm
talking
really
about?
old. I just use Facebook Messenger to talk to my friends.
Yeah, that's not even old. There's like a whole other generation before us that's like, you guys don't even know what old is.
Yeah.
But
well, I used ICQ. I'm like, yeah, okay.
when I had a PayPal, you guys don't even know what that is probably.
By the way, I do shout this out on stream a lot. I want to do it again here. There is a channel you guys can go to if you want to check StarCraft. People watch Korean StarCraft. It's the hashtag GSL channel on IRC on QuakeNut. Go pop in there if you want to talk to people. You don't have to watch alone. It doesn't have to be Kappas in your chat. You can have a civil discussion. But yeah, just
Doesn't have to be Kappas. You have another choice.
I plug that
Don't
chat
submit
sometimes
to Kappa.
because there's a lot of friendly people in that chat, and
yeah,
it's a fun place to hang out. No one has to watch StarCraft alone. Okay, this is actually a bad place to fight. Well, he's going to just turn around anyways. Stats walking in the line of sight blockers was scaring me for a second there. Medevac's at an awkward angle here. The Stalker's doing a ton of damage. Now, he doesn't have any Vikings. I know Liberators shoot air, but they're not really the answer for Colossi. 2 Colossi now in this mix. As you mentioned, he does have Thermal Lances. And it's cool to see Colossi in Korea because, like you said, it's mostly the foreign scene where you see this. I think I saw like Liquid Hero use Colossi once or something in a qualifier online. That's the only time I've ever seen it with a Korean.
Well, it's very hard right now for ByuN to engage this. He has to be so slow with this Liberators. And look at this. You can see some of that confidence issues that he was talking about coming into play. You were talking about the micro. He's losing units here and there, just not paying attention to his army at times.
This is a sick reaction, by the way. He barely saw the fringe of those Stalkers and he had units to defend. That's pretty impressive. All right, here we go. Liberation zones being planted here. He is spreading his units. Look at that nice split against that Disruptor shot.
Really fantastic. But any single time a Disruptor shot comes out, it takes him a while to regroup. He's got a nice concave here and a big blink forward.
Oh, this is a good position here for ByuN. Oh, no, with that one Disruptor shot connecting to too many units.
Look at his supply just plummet after that. That was like 15 supply in bio.
Yeah. You know, right before that happened, if that hadn't hit him, he would have been in great shape. You saw the way stats his units were all clumping up. This is also risky engagement here. 2 Widow Mines undetected, doing a ton of damage. Wow, actually a lot of those units in the red now.
Yeah, but the Widow Mines will be cleaned up, and still liking Stats' position. I like what ByuN's trying to do and trying to bait Stats into a blink into the Liberators and then just attack with the bio, but against all those Colossi as well, even now that their damage is reduced. Oh boy, a bunch of Stalkers in position here, sniping out one of the Medevacs at least. Some of this bio does get out, but this is enough Stalkers, I believe, and Stats is going to go for the attack at the same time.
Both these players are so taxed with their multitasking. Neither of them has started 3-3. They're both at 2-2 currently. Uh-oh, this is not a good position here to engage. Liberation zones go up. The Stalkers are going to wipe them away while the bio is zoned by those Disruptors and Stats. They're just outplayed ByuN in that fight in every way. Looks like the drop is still around back at home, but not accomplishing all too much.
Yeah, it's going to be cleaned up here, and Stats is sitting pretty. This 4th base cannot be defended. ByuN doesn't have enough of an army. Doesn't really matter if you lift this up. It is going to go down. ByuN can barely afford to repair it at this point. I mean, he's got to be making only units. He's desperately trying to get out Vikings now to deal with the Colossi. I think it's too little too late.
I think he's done. I think this game is over. He's got Liberators that he can hide behind for a little while longer, but that's going to be it. Look at the money that Stats has pouring in. He's doubling his worker count. There's nothing. There's no edge in this game. ByuN has no advantages. You know?
Yeah.
He's trying to get Vikings out, like you said, way too late. He's misrallying Marines and Marauders into Protoss Bio. What's going on in there, ByuN? I'm worried for him as those nerves are coming out.
Yeah. You can definitely see it in this play, but
I mean, this is a small victory here.
Ooh, bunching up those probes, but you can see he's trying to get into a position now to defend this army, and he could barely do so. Liberator's not in the right position. 3rd base, totally undefended.
All right, liberation zones here. Very aggressive, actually, for ByuN. I think he's going to lose that first one pretty easily. And basically, Stats is just whittling away at whatever left ByuN has on the map.
Finally, we see the Vikings coming out here, beginning to shell those Colossi. having some protection from the Liberators, but just not enough Vikings. Too many Stalkers. Nice blink underneath all the Liberators. The big disruptor shots as well.
Yeah, and even though we see Stats retreating here, he has double the army supply of ByuN right now. ByuN's got, you know, while the disruptor shots aren't flying, arguably the better comp, but now with the Vikings gone, his army is just too small. He can't win versus this. Stats is about to finally have that +2 finish, which will put him on 2-2, even footing here. And look at this, disruptor shots, 2 of them coming out. A blink forward, GG.
That's going to be that for game number 3. Stats taking that one in a pretty impressive way. He went from a failed all-in to definitely defending his 3 bases into just getting a really nice composition that ByuN just did not have an answer to.
No, he did not. ByuN looks like he's going to have a chat with somebody here. ByuN usually goes solo, by the way, guys. I mean, he's on X Team, which is actually a Chinese team. I know a lot of people don't know this. He's got some of the best Chinese talent that we have.
He's talking to Patience in there. At least it looks like Patience.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's preparing for his next game. Those guys must be friends. And Patience is like, no, I watched that map. You're having trouble versus Protoss. Let me give you the secrets.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting that, you know, we see 2 players that are actually enemies essentially in this tournament. They may face each other after this if they both win. Giving each other advice. We do see this from time to time, especially with these solo players, these players that are sometimes referred to as mercenaries. They're on a team from another region and they play. They use a team sponsor logo and stuff within their home region. Now, we saw it a lot in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, and we're seeing it again here in Legacy now.